Hey, hi there. Welcome to PyMLFinance. In this video, we are going to understand about writing comments in Python. What are the different ways in which you can write comments in Python? Okay, so let's start with the video. Is a comment. A comment is a kind of note or explanation, okay, that you give in your code or program that you write. It is given in code or program that you write in any programming language. Okay, the programming language ignores the comments that you write. Okay, these comments are ignored by programming language. So whenever you run the program, those comments are not executed by Python program. It ignores it basically. Python, or it can be any programming language. These are specifically for humans to read and not for the programming language in which you are coding. Okay, these are for your reference, for the programmer's reference, and not for the programming language. Now, why do we need, okay, why do we need to write comments in any programming language? What's the reason? So there are various reasons. The first one we'll discuss. Let's say you are writing code in any programming language, okay, and it is important that your code is, the code you write is easily understood by others. It should be easily understandable by others. Say for example, let's say you want to show the code you have written, the logic you have written in the programming language to any of your friend. It can be friend or your colleague at your workplace. Okay, then they should be able to easily understand your code logic. They should be able to the rational understand the rational behind the logic, rational behind the logic you have written. Okay, the colleague or any other programmer should be able to easily understand the logic. The second reason can be to remind something to yourself. So let's say right now you are writing the code or logic, okay, and you think whatever code or logic you are writing right now, and you feel that you may need to refer it sometime in the future. So for that purpose you would want yourself to remind the logic. Okay, you would want yourself to remind the logic or the rational for writing those set of code. Why had you written those codes? What were the rationale behind it? What that particular set of code does, and why did you write that code? So you may want to remind something to yourself. In that case, also you can write the comment for that particular set of code or set of program. All right. The third reason can be to temporarily disable the execution of some line of code. So, for example, let's say you have written 100 to 200 lines of code. You have written somewhere around 200 lines of code. Now some of those lines of code you feel, okay, that is not required at the moment. Okay, so now those lines of code, let's say 5 to 10 lines of codes are there that are not required at the time, at the moment, but you may require those sometime in future whenever there is an update or you want to update some logic. So in that case you may want to comment those lines of code. Okay, so this can be one reason to write the comments in your code. All right, now the fourth reason can be to create some documentations. Okay, so if you want to create some documents about the logic or some attributes of functions, in that case also, to create documents you can write comments in your code. Okay, all right, so now you have understood what is comments. Okay, why do you need to write comments in any programming language. So now let's understand what are the different ways you can you can write comment in Python. So the very first one is using hash symbol. Okay, if you want to comment let's say a single line of code, you want to comment this line of code, okay, you can use the hash symbol before the line. Now Python will ignore this entire set of line till the end. Okay, the entire line will be ignored by Python. So if you want to comment one line of code, you can use hash symbol before that line. Okay, the second option is to use triple quotes. Okay, it is generally used to comment multiple lines or create some sort of documents. Okay, so using triple quotes to write comments is technically uh, kind of a string in Python. Python assumes this as a string. So inside the triple quote, whatever you write, Python technically considers it as a string and not a comment. Okay, but in Python it works if you don't assign this particular string to anything. If you don't assign to any variable, okay, I will be discussing about what are variables. If you don't assign this to anything, okay, it works as a comment in Python. Okay, it is generally used to create multiple lines of string or multiple lines comment. So there, let's say you are writing 5 lines and you want to make this as comment, so you can put it under triple quotes this way. Okay, I will be showing you through an example in a Jupyter notebook, so don't worry about that. So here we are in the Jupyter notebook. Okay, this is basically Jupyter lab and not Jupyter notebook. So similar to Jupyter notebook, you can type Jupyter lab and open Jupyter lab instead of Jupyter notebook. So here we will write a single line comment. You can use hash to write the comment. So this is a single line comment. Okay, and you can write something to print hello world here. Hello world. All right, so Python will ignore this line of code. Okay, this is a comment in Python. So if you execute it, so you can see, right, this is a single line comment, nothing happened to that. This is ignored by Python and only hello world was printed. So in order to comment single line, you can use hash. Now to comment out multiple lines, so one option is to obviously use hash at all the multiple lines, and that will act as a commenting all the lines. So for example, this is line 1 of comment. Okay, similarly for the second line, you can again write this is second line of comment, second line of comment. Okay, so by adding hash in the start of every line, you can write multiple lines of comment. Third line, these all will be considered as comment in Python. Okay, but if you want to comment multiple line in one go, so you can use triple quotes. Okay, and between these triple quotes you can write whatever you want to write. So this is a multi-line comment that spans multiple line. For example, let's say there are 2 lines we want to comment out, and after this there are certain codes. Print hello world. Okay, so again these lines will be considered as comment by Python. Python will ignore this set of line and only hello world will be printed by executing this cell. Okay, so you can see here only hello world was printed. These lines were ignored by Python. Okay, so these are the 2 ways you can write the comments in Python. Now there is a shortcut to comment a single line of code. So for example, let's say you have written here print hello world, or you can take the example above only. So you want to comment out this line, you don't want hello world to be printed below. Okay, so what you can do, on this line you can go and press Ctrl plus forward slash. Now this line of code is converted into comment. You can see a hash was added at this line in the very beginning. Okay, So this is converted into comment. The shortcut key here is control plus forward slash. So using this shortcut keyword, you can comment a single line of code. Okay. So let's say if you want to comment multiple lines using hash only, so there is a way you can do. So you can write, let's say we have print hello world multiple times here. Multiple times we have print hello world. So this is print hello world 1, this is print hello world 2, this is print hello world 3, and for some reason, let's say you want to comment out these two lines at one go, so you can use control plus forward slash, and in the starting of both the lines a hash mark will be added. Now these two lines are commented. When you execute, only the third line will be executed and print hello world 3 will be printed here. Sorry, this will be a little syntax problem here, so this will be here. Okay, so only plain, you can see hello world 3, only this line was executed by Python and these two lines were ignored. Okay, all right, so now you know how to write comments in Python, but there are few some best practices for writing comments. Okay, so it's not that everywhere everything, and as long as you can write the comments, there are few best practices that you should always follow as a programmer to write comment. So the first one is to explain why something is done and not what is done. Okay, so you should always use comments, okay, to explain why something was done at you, wherever you are writing code, why was that code written. Okay, and not only, though you should write what is being done over there, but not only what is done, but why something is being done over there. So that should be your priority while writing the comment. You should never over comment the code. Okay, the code should be readable and look clean. Okay, whatever code or program you are writing, it should be readable and clean. Okay, sometimes what happens, when you over comment in a code, in the set of code that you have written, it makes the code look unreadable. Okay, so you should always consider in mind, wherever you are writing code, you should never over comment the code. Okay, you should always keep the comments short and to the point. Okay, don't extend the code on comment unnecessarily. You should never extend the comment unnecessarily. Write only those things which are necessary. Okay, uh, you should always update the comments. Okay, whenever you are updating or modifying the code, whenever you are updating the code or modifying the code, you should always update the comment over there as well. You can use comments as a reminder of something or to do's. Okay, for if you have something to do in some time in future, or you want to remind something to yourself whenever you relook the code again, you can use comments at that point of time. So for example, let's say you have written some code, and in after some time you may want to add, let's say, error handling code logic there. So you can write a to do kind of thing, this is to be done, and right there add error handling here. Okay, so these are some best practices for writing comments in any programming language, not specific to Python only. Now I want to discuss some shortcuts about when you are working in the Jupyter notebook. Okay, these are few shortcut keys that you should keep in mind whenever you are using Jupyter. I mean, whenever you are working with the Jupyter notebook. So control plus enter is the first one. So this can be used to execute a cell of the Jupyter notebook. So on your keyboard you can press control and then enter. Okay, this will execute the cell of a cell in the Jupyter notebook. Shift plus enter, this is also used to execute a uh, execute a cell, as well as add a new cell below the executed cell. So whichever cell you are trying to execute, if you use shift plus enter, then the cell will be executed and also a new cell will be added below that particular cell. Okay, so let's see this example in Jupyter Notebook. I will open the Jupyter Notebook and show you this example. All right, so here I am on Jupyter Notebook, or sorry, Jupyter Lab. Okay, and here I want to execute this particular cell. Okay, so I can press on keyboard Control, and then while holding Control, just press the Enter. This cell is executed, and you can notice here no cell was added here. Okay, so when I go to this cell again, and after this I press Shift and then Enter, cell is executed, as well as a new cell is added just below this particular cell. Okay, so Control plus Enter if you want to only execute the cell and not add any other cell below to it. But if you want to execute the cell as well as you want to add a new cell just below the executed cell, you can use Shift plus Enter. All right. All right, so that's all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you and happy learning. See you soon in the next video.